came home in 2014, and
after serving how much time?
This was my second bid. I did 5 years.
And if you don't mind me asking, what'd you go to prison for?
Don't joke about this one. I went to prison for 5 years for driving without a license.
10th offense?
No, it was my 3rd offense. And it was,
and they gave you 5 years for that?
For 5 years. My felonies kept getting in the way.
I just don't understand how a driving on a suspended felony could hold you up.
Well,
you got violations too. You said you just got home.
Yeah, I mean,
I was on probation. Shut up. Come here, Jack. Come here. Come
was it other felonies?
No. I was on probation from my original conviction back in 2004. Right?
What was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Which was, my original conviction is robbery, abduction.
There we go. There's the charges that are getting in the way.
Conspiracy and use of a firearm and the commission of a felony.
That driving shit ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Lord, give me the strength to get through this day. Folks, what's going on with you? I want to start this video off better than what it's seeming like I'm starting it off right now. It's been an aggravating last 2 days, to say the least. I don't want to put a whole hell of a lot out there, but things got me a little bit aggravated right now, but we're not going to deal with that today. And in fact, what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to get back to some after prison show type of stuff. Felon flippers has been a huge new thing that we've been doing a lot of lately. Well, today we're kind of going to take a little bit of a break from that and get back to meeting people, hearing their story, and also trying to work with people if we can. And what's getting ready to happen today is I'm getting ready to go meet up with Gelico, who has just gotten in touch with and in contact with a new guy, I think by the name of Eric. Correct me if I'm wrong, it could be Derrick. He's called him either Derrick or Eric, if not both. I don't even know this guy's name. But this guy definitely has a pretty crazy situation that he's dealing with after prison. And today we're gonna get an opportunity to hear that and just see how real the struggle can really be. You know, when you get released, I sit here and think to myself about the stuff that I complain and bitch about, and I know I do my fair share of both of those things right there. And, you know, thinking about that, there's always people who got it a hell of a lot worse. And unfortunately, for this new guy, he's a perfect example of somebody having it a lot worse. And we're gonna be learning all about that here today. So again, I'm getting ready to go meet with Gelico, and then we're getting ready to go meet with this new individual and hear this new person's story. You know, I probably gotta chill out on the stress. My chest is killing me. Sometimes I'll be thinking like I'm gonna just croak. Neither here nor there, this is not Dr. Oz. Folks, another city, the same store. Sitting up in a Lowe's parking lot right now in a different city. Similar to the city and the Lowe's near the Flip House. And I just wonder to myself how much thievery takes place out of this Lowe's, but that's just me thinking out loud. I'm waiting on Gelico to get here right now. He's gonna meet me up here at this parking lot. I guess this is probably close to wherever he's working at right now. And then we're getting ready to go meet this new person who I think story you guys are gonna find pretty damn interesting and probably pretty compelling. From what I know of it already seems that way for me. But right now, we're just waiting on Gelico to get up here, and then we'll see where we're going from there. All right, so Gelico got here. What's going on, buddy?
What's up? How we doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. What you been up to today?
Oh my God. Putting out fires.
Yeah?
Everywhere, yeah. Pressure washer painting, vanity install, cutting the yard. Yeah, just a lot, man. It's a lot.
Well, shout out to you for staying busy and...
Yeah, but I'll be down here shortly, man. Be able to give you a hand. I only have a little bit of Westminster, and then
I don't even want to talk about my job. But anyway.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's good to see you.
Right on, man. It's good to be here, man.
And not only to see you, Gelico, but to get back to some good old-fashioned after prison show.
Yes, man. This is the part I love right here, man. The meet and greets, man. The meet and greet, the new guys, the intros.
So let's talk a little bit about who this person is. I don't know what their name is. Is it Derrick or Eric?
Derrick.
Derrick.
Derrick. I got a phone call one night. My brother calls out of the blue, and he calls me and he tells me, he's like, man, listen, I know a guy. His mother has been trying to help him, but she can only do so much, and he's been homeless, and he's trying. Let's see if you can help him. When people tell me that they have somebody that needs help, a million and one things go through your mind. They're homeless. I was told he was living in a car. So a million things go through your mind. Number one thing, drugs. So I was thinking to myself, here we go. Maybe the family doesn't know. Maybe the family just needs to be told, well, he's using, or something like that. And that was 1,000% not the case, man. And I was just blown away by some of the information and some of the things he's told me he's done or trying to do, and keeps getting set back one way or another. He's going to school. I don't want to say too much because
we're gonna go meet him.
Yeah, man. But I was just blown away about the effort
and his story.
Yeah, and his story, man. Because a lot of times when I meet somebody, do the meet and greet, and I am trying to help people, the effort or the willing to work, or just and he has all that, and he has trade.
Let's go meet this guy. But real quick, I want to ask you this, because you didn't mention this. Has he been locked up?
Yes, of course. He's been in prison.
Because if he had never been locked up, we can't help you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your story. You're homeless, but you haven't been to prison though. So
he did some time, buddy. He did some time.
But he's willing to share his story.
Absolutely, man. He's in his car right now with his pregnant wife.
Oh my God.
Their dog.
What?
Yes, and they're living. I mean, it's like their own apartment, man. It not be funny.
Do they got a van?
They got a what is it? Explorer, I think. So it's, and the way they have it set up, man, it's awesome with the dog. And it's like a bedroom. It's like a moving bedroom, man. It's like, it's pretty cool, man. That's why I'm saying you gotta. It's something that I had to see. There's a couple more people coming up, man, that I want to introduce you to. I got somebody coming home the 21st and stuff like that. But there's a bunch of people that I'm meeting, and it's pretty. It's the stories, man, that severely intrigue me, man. It really is.
This story is already sounding like it's pretty screwed up. You had me meet you up here at this Lowe's, Gelico. Is this guy close? Is he far?
Yes,
where we gotta go?
He's right across the street, man. And he stays in this area because it's a hub between Virginia Beach and Norfolk and work. You got the Lowe's, you got the Home Depot. He does concrete, and he's going.
Let's go meet him.
Yeah.
Let's go meet him. All right. Yeah. Well, shout out to Gelico for taking time out of his busy day to come meet me. Gelico told me 1 o'clock sharp.
No, man, I was only 10 minutes late. I was like,
it's all good.
That's pretty good, though.
It's, beats.
I seen you over here tapping your hand. But
we're gonna meet this individual by the name of Derrick, and let's go see what this guy's story is. All right, quick little intermission. We haven't gotten to this guy Derrick just yet, but where we're at the Wawa right now. And Gelico says that when he goes and meets this guy, he likes to come bearing gifts.
Yeah,
so
come bearing gifts, man. I mean, he's just, I don't know, man.
Bring him a soda, bring him chips. Good for you, man.
Just a little something. I know what he drinks. I know what he, what I'm saying. Just the little things.
But you were thirsty too, though.
Yeah,
so let's.
I left my sandwich in the van. I was there. Anyway, I'll be real quick.
All right, you said that about getting to the Lowe's. Oh my God, man, that's crazy right there. All right, well, let's get ready to meet Derrick.
Come on. Damn,
hey, stop it. Stop it. Will you hush? How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
How you been, brother, man? You staying busy?
Trying to make it.
This is Joe Guerrero.
Hey, pleasure to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Come here. Here you go, brother. Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
I got you.
Wish we could have met under better circumstances.
It is what it is. I mean, life. My wife's kind of asleep right now, so.
Was she working earlier today?
Shut up!
She working today?
Huh?
She work today?
No. She actually got let go of on that job. She was having issues, Yeah, with being pregnant, whatever. So they kind of just like let her go. With no ill will feelings, of course, but I mean, still.
What kind of work was she doing?
She was working at McDonald's. I mean, it's not really a really job that you're like, oh man, I got fired from McDonald's, you know, but still, it's a job. In this situation, it's a good thing. But, she got fired, so.
How about you in work? You been staying busy? I'm sorry I keep missing you. We keep missing you.
No. I mean,
he starts early, man. He's like you, man. He starts early.
Yeah,
he starts early. He's up and at 6 o'clock, ready to go.
I'm up every day. Well, now that, you know, her being pregnant and all, so I'm up about 2-3 times in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look, you know, how long you been living like this?
Oh, this is 3 years.
3 years you've been living in this vehicle?
Well, not this particular vehicle, because we just got this vehicle, thanks to my mom. Thanks, Mom. But
3 years homeless?
Yeah, 3 years homeless. We had before we got this, we were actually in a much smaller car, which is a Monte Carlo 2004 Monte Carlo SS. Is what we were living in. That's what we lived in for the majority of the time until we got this, which was 3-4 months ago, maybe.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, why are you homeless?
Let me just say something while he drinks it. Everything on this car is legal. He is homeless, and everything about this vehicle is legal.
I appreciate that.
I just want to add that in. I was just baffled. He's like, yeah, man, how to get my tags? I'm like, who gets their tags when they're homeless? You know, who worries about, you know, the little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was important to him, so I thought that was I was blown away by it.
That's a pretty good question, actually. Well, what initially landed me here was the fact that, I mean, my ego, really, when you break it down, because at the time I was working, I was making good money. She was working, she was making good money. We had just moved back down here from Richmond, and we had gotten our 3rd place. So because I felt like I was on top of the world and I could take on anything, and I was Mr. Superman and wanted to save everybody, this time I ended up getting a lot of, like, I don't want to mention no names, but people that are associated with me that needed help. So given the person that I am, because your family or whatnot, you know, I extended my hand and I helped, and I did it. I didn't half-ass it. I helped you all the way. I gave you a roof over your head, you know, a job to work, and transportation to and from. And I didn't charge anybody rent per se. I just kind of like left that kind of like hanging in the air, like, you know, hey, look, show some respect, pay, help run the house, blah blah blah. Anyway, so it initially just didn't turn out the way it turned out, or the way I wanted to turn out. And nobody ended up paying me. Everybody left me high and dry. So when I fell hard. It was a straight nosedive. Lost the house. Almost lost the car that we ended up in several times. Almost just lost this, and we just got it. But initially we landed. It's just the fact that I just kind of took in everybody and turned my house into like a halfway house.
Is drugs a part of the problem?
Drugs were in the house, yeah. I mean, not within me, but with the others in the house. Probably why I didn't get paid.
So you've been homeless for 3 years.
Yep.
And, you know, Gelico tells me that you served time, and you know what?
10 years in total.
10 years in total. I do, you know, the name of my YouTube channel is AfterPrisonShow. I've been to prison. We work with a lot of people who've been to prison. We share the stories of people who've been to prison. Is the fact that you've served time, or the fact that you got a criminal record, is that a part of, you know, why you've been homeless as well? Having problems trying to find a place or maybe find a job, you know? How does that, if at all, play into your current situation?
Well, my felonies have always gotten in the way. When I came home in 2014, and
after serving how much time?
This was my 2nd bid. I did 5 years.
And if you don't mind me asking, what'd you go to prison for?
Don't joke about this one. I went to prison for 5 years for driving without a license.
10th offense?
No, it was my 3rd offense. And it was,
and they gave you 5 years for that?
For 5 years. So anyways, I did the 5 years. I come home 2014, right? And when I come home, of course I go on the, I get on the grind, you know, trying to find a job. But every time I try to find a job, every application I try to put in, or everybody I talked to, it's like my felonies kept getting in the way. I mean, thankfully enough, I ended up, not that I knew somebody, but somebody that I knew somebody else, blah, 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 connection. Then I ended up landing a job doing concrete.
I just don't understand how driving on a suspended felony could hold you up.
Well,
you got violations too. You said you just got home. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I was on probation. Shut up. Come here, Jack. Come here. Come on.
Was it other felonies?
No. I was on probation from my original conviction back in 2004. Right?
What was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Which was, my original conviction is robbery, abduction.
There we go. There's the charges that are getting in the way.
Conspiracy and use of a firearm and the commission of a felony.
That driving shit ain't got nothing to do with none of that.
That was my original conviction back in 2004. So when I was on probation, when I came home in 2007 for my first bid, that's when I was on probation. So when I got caught driving, my PO was like, you know what? We're not playing games with you. You know, it's a misdemeanor. I might not get you, you know, time on that charge for real, but you're on probation.
The
so
violation.
5 years.
Yeah.
And so I went away for 5 years.
Regardless, you know, you got a record. I've got a record. Everybody's got a lot of people got records, and they're bad enough charges to where they could definitely pose a problem. You trying to find work, but you've been homeless for 3 years now. Like, what is getting in the way of you getting a place? I can imagine, you know, you've tried with work and tried to at least get into like a hotel or something. Like,
well, honestly speaking, when we originally fell into this situation, actually the day that we kind of fell into the situation is the same day that my wife and I decided to get married, which is pretty cool. When we initially fell into the situation, I told my wife at the time, I said, babe, don't worry about it, everything's gonna be fine, I'm still working. You know, you're working, be 3-4 months, we'll be out of the situation, no problem, right? Well, that wasn't the case. As naturally, when you fall into these kind of situations, you fall victim to a lot of other things that are within this territory that kind of come and sneak up on you, such as drugs. So I did fall into the drugs thing at that point.
what was, you know, your drug of choice? Heroin?
No, it was crack.
And like, I'm not saying, I know this probably sounds like, I don't know, probably an interrogation.
It does, man. It's not a real relaxed vibe. I mean, you see the little tints today.
Well,
yes, but that's how it is.
Please forgive me. I'm not trying to come.
We have to find a story, and inevitably, that's why I feel. But people don't like it. It's hard for people to just say it out loud.
And I commend you for, you know, having the, I guess, the courage above everything else to talk about this type of stuff. You know, your situation is very, it's sad. And you know, it's a situation, I've been homeless before. You know, and okay, so you mentioned the drug use.
Yeah.
Are you still actively using?
Absolutely not. I've been clean for going on a year and a half, 2 years, somewhere around there. I've been clean, and you know, it's just because when I fell into the situation, and then once I fell into it, I fell into the other. I like to call it dark side. That's what I like to call it. You know, once I got about that, you know, because I fell into it, it just kind of made my hole just much deeper, of course, and that goes with any kind of drug addiction that you have, you know. And so because I made my hole so deep, you know, once I got clean, it's just, you know, we're just at a point now. It's just like we're just digging a rut. Just we're
spinning tires.
Yeah, spinning tires. That's what I'm looking for. A truck in mud, just spinning tires. You know. Here's the thing. So I'm a full-time student at Tidewater Tech.
Major major shout out to you for that, man. That's big. What are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for HVAC. The idea is, you know, get a trade, graduate, get my certifications. That way I can have something to fall back on. I initially do concrete and masonry. I love doing that because it's work that you can always mold and fit and fix. If something breaks or something messes up, you can always refix it, you know?
You know, I might know a job in that field if, you know, you're willing to, I don't know how you would fit into your schedule going to school, but I know if you...
As long as I can get off work at 3 o'clock and make it to school by 4 o'clock, you know, or no later than 4:30, I'm fine, you know, that's cool. But, I mean, that's the other thing, man. It's like, you know, it's not like I've sat around on my ass and just did nothing. It was just like, hey, you know.
Do you do any panhandling?
I do. Because it's right now, it's what I have to do. I have no other choice, you know. So, like, you know, I go out here, I donate.
Do the plasma.
My plasma, you know, so I can make sure we got gas in the truck or whatever. And I'll panhandle. Those are my 2 incomes right now because I can't get a job.
So, you need work.
Yes. But
you got to be...
work that's going to work with my school as well.
And how often is the school? Monday through Friday?
Yeah. And here's the thing, though. Now,
how are you paying for the school?
It's a tuition or
Pell Grant?
Yeah, Pell Grants and all of that. That we have to pay back, you know, about a year after we graduate, which is fine, I guess. But whatever. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. I was in the process of saying something, though. What was I saying?
You've been talking about a lot of stuff, and forgive me for jumping in and cutting you off. I got a tendency of doing that. You know, with this current situation, you know, talk to me a little bit about, you know, I guess what your day-to-day is like. You know, you get up early, you say, or you're up all night. You know, what's it like? Talk about what your daily life is like living in a vehicle.
Oh, man. It's a struggle, man. It's tough. You know, like I said, we started out in something smaller. I mean, this is, you know, in comparison to what we had before, this is like, would be considered like a 5-bed or a 4-bedroom house. You know what I'm saying?
A little more room in it than that Monte Carlo.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And here, look, you know, when we started out, man, it was like we had 2 dogs with us as well in the Monte Carlo. We had a pit bull named King and a Chihuahua, like this one, named Harley. And, you know, it was tight, man. It was real tight and very cramping. Like I said, we just got this. And our man, my day-to-day right now is this. I wake up, well, because she's pregnant, obviously, you know, I'm waking up 2-3 times a night with doing that. And then eventually I'll stay up and I'm like, man, we got to figure out how we're gonna get some money today. So I'm like, I'll look at the schedule, I'll figure out what day it is. I'm like, oh, maybe I can go donate today. So I'll go donate if I can donate. After I donate, I'm like, 30 bucks ain't gonna really do shit.
Is that what you get, 30 bucks for donating?
Yeah, once you get into the groove of their process, you get it set into a set amount that you get every time that you go donate. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in the set, you know, $30, $40, $30, $4, until they come up with a promo, and then I fall into that, you know. But, you know, again, $30 ain't shit, you know. It takes $30 to fill this truck up and maintain the gas in it, you know. Giving it cold and whatnot. I mean,
you're running at nighttime.
Yeah, thankfully, the last couple of days we've been pretty warm.
But it's getting ready to be cold tomorrow night.
Yeah. But, you know, in the cold, you know, we gotta constantly run the truck, constantly run it, you know, and with the heat so we can stay warm. Not really, we won't be cold, you know. Matter of fact, you know, I'm gonna open the door. I want you to take just see if you can get a look inside, you know.
Is that gonna be all right?
She's asleep, is she?
Just a quick look.
I don't want to.
I thought it was really cool to y'all have it set up, man. I was just.
All right, let's see if we can get a quick look real quick. That's our little setup in there.
That's your school stuff right there?
Yep, that's my binder for my school stuff that I just managed to get.
Jeez.
But,
you know, I look around this parking lot and I see another car back here with 2 guys sitting back there. Is this like where people are living in their cars at?
Well,
is there more than just you out here?
I'll say this. Walmart's very, very famous for having people who are homeless living in their cars, sleeping in their parking lot. I'll say that.
And are they fair about that? Do they bother you? Do the police come?
Well, here's the thing. For the longest time, it's only been in the last 3 months that we haven't been bothered by the police. We've been constantly having to jump from one place to another because we're constantly getting bothered by.
And they just tell you got to leave?
That, or I mean, I got videos I can show you where cops have showed up in a parking lot while we're asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, surrounding my truck, guns drawn and everything, talking about get out the truck. You know.
Really?
Yeah. I've had a cop pull up on me, wake me up, slam out my sleep, wake me up with the flashlight like this in my face. And then when I wake up, he stumbles back, rushes back to his squad car, calls for backup, and then puts his lights on and says, "Stay right there, stay right there. You're not supposed to be, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "What's going on? I'm homeless." "Well, you ain't supposed to be here." You know, it's just everywhere we go, it's always a problem. You know,
So we're in between cuts right here, so it might seem a little crazy, but Gelico, you were just telling me you've put Derrick to work before.
Oh, absolutely, man. I put him on the Westminster house, you know. He gets out of school a little late, you know. He's got appointments with his old lady during the day. So, you know, I told him round the clock, you know, I'd be able to help you. You know, he's came in one time, we've been touching base, playing phone tag, but yeah, he's met, his wife has met Ann, you know, they've been there. We've hung out with Dave. He put some lights in for me, did really well. Everything's working and running. Hey, there's still a little bit more stuff there, and I'm glad we touched base now because I could use them again. And
well, shout out to you for putting them to work.
Yeah, man.
And
yeah.
Forgive me for cutting you off, but we got a lot of wind, so I'm trying to work around that.
No problem.
Right now, Derrick's looking through his phone, trying to find this video of when the police came and were messing with him in the middle of the night. And he was also sharing with us about what all he's done in an effort to try to get assistance. The short of it is, him and his wife have both been approved for assistance, 2 different types of assistance, and I guess they're just on a waiting list.
Yeah,
and
they've been approved for 2 different housing assistance. She has her own one. They went together, but he has his own and she has her own, right? And
they both got approved for 2 different things, and then he got disapproved once they learned that he was a full-time student.
Yes, he said the federal government would call it double dipping. That's the answer that they gave to him. So everything that I've tried to explain to him, every resource that I have, this man has already done, man. He has exhausted his options. And, you know, I try to say, well, you know, I can't work you much, but what the money that I give him, man, it's just enough for food. You know, she's got appointments, she's got everything, and inevitably he needs a full-time job, and he needs...
Is she driving as well? Does she drive?
yeah, she's the only one that's got her license. I don't have a license.
So she could drop you off for work and be able to take care of what she needs to do during the day.
Well, essentially, I mean, that's
If you were able to find some work.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, with finding some work though, right? Is that, you know, given the situation, it's like this. It's like, you know, right now we need money every day. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get a cash paying job.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We can't, right now, I can't just jump into a job and work a whole week or 2 weeks and wait, you know, a half a month or a whole month for a paycheck, because...
But if there was cash paying jobs available...
Absolutely, I would go work it. I would get up at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning and go work it immediately. You know, well, of course.
Or if, you know... So I got a couple of ideas spinning through my head right now in terms of what all we could do.
He's spinning his wheels. I know what he's saying, and me and Dave, we've tried to come up with ways and theories, but he's right, man. Any immediate thing that has like minimum wage or just a little bit more, man, it's not enough, man. He can't get into an apartment like that. He can't get in. He signed up for Salvation Army. That's where they go. You know, that's you know.
I'm gonna have to take a little more time to kind of find that video, because it's kind of buried in there somewhere. But I'm gonna find it. And I'm gonna send it to whomever I'll send it to you or whatever. Like, okay, so before when I was working up until about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, somewhere around there, you know, I was making $12 an hour under the table, cash, right? At $12 an hour, I was working anywhere from 30 to 35 hours a week, even at that rate, being paid every week, you know, and working on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday for cash money, you know, still wasn't enough money to support us. I mean, it just got us by. You know,
have you ever lived in a hotel or, you know, gone that route?
I have years and years ago, back before I did my first bid, when my stepdad and I just kind of got into a disagreement of some sort, however you want to look at it.
Well, what if an efficiency was available to you guys, like you could get up into a hotel weekly? You know, would that be something that you would consider?
I mean, that would be ideal, but I would have to have at least enough money to be able to pay that weekly on top of our car payment that we got to make, you know, which is insurance, license, everything else with that, you know.
And I've done the research, man. The cheapest hotel in the area is $270 a week. And
I know.
some of them go a little bit lower than that, but the ones, even some of the ones, the weekly ones.
Look,
you can find.
There's a project one, a cheap one, rundown one, a drug-infested one. All right, okay, it's right here, and guess what they charge?
What they charge?
$300 a week.
Yeah, there's cheaper than that though. There is. I mean, shoot.
But it's not. That's what he was saying.
Actually, you know, I say there's cheaper. I'm thinking like 20 years ago when I lived in a hotel.
There's not. I've called every single one.
It could very well be $300 a week.
So how does he live? Okay, he gets $12 an hour. Let's say they take out taxes. You know, so that's $300. So
he's cash on the table though. It was no taxes taken out, and I still couldn't. I was still having to go to my mom, you know, for help.
$380. So he's got $110 a week to live.
Well, look, I don't want to make this super long because we got wind, and I don't know how good this is going to come out. Derrick, I want to thank you for, you know, sharing your story and allowing us to see, you know, what's been going on with you for these last 3 years. You know, you got a lot on your plate right now. Not only do you got your pregnant wife, you got this dog.
Yep. We've even tried shelters, and we can't do shelters because they don't have family shelters. And then on top of that, even if they did have family shelters, they wouldn't have family shelters that would allow dogs. Now the dog that we have must stay, because it's like a service dog to my wife. When she gets upset or she's about to have anxiety attack, you know, the dog helps her, calms her down, for the most part at least. And you know, so we can't take the dog out of the situation. Wherever we go, the dog goes.
The family.
And then the other thing is, you know, there is no such thing as, you know, her and I sleeping separate from each other. We've got to sleep together because she can't do it. Quite frankly, I guess I can't do it either.
Well,
sleep without my wife, you know what I mean? But
I don't know what all we can do in an effort to try to help you, but you know, over the next couple of days, I want to try to put, you know, some ideas together, see what kind of options we can present to you, and see, you know, what we come up with, and hopefully what we come up with is something that could definitely help you and your family.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, 8 weeks along my wife is, and I don't know, I guess maybe we could probably make it work with a berth in the truck. I mean, I guess, well, you know, the child could grow. Hey, I was born in a 95 Ford Explorer, son.
Well, one thing about it, no matter how crazy it is, it's just even more crazy to hear, you know, that you're pretty optimistic about all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, the streets is very discouraging. It takes, you know, people don't think that it's really anything. When you see somebody like me out here, or somebody that's rougher looking than me, you immediately assume the worst and all the negative, you know. But when in reality, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Most of us falling into the situations, honestly, we were just like y'all. Most of y'all working, paying our bills, doing the responsible thing. We got hit. We fell. A lot of people don't get back up. A lot of people don't, because the streets do consume you. It's more of a mental thing than it is a physical thing.
Do you want to get back up?
Absolutely. That's why I'm trying to do everything I freaking can. But it's like, damn, man, I can only do but so much, and I need help. Can't get it.
Well, Derrick, look, I want to kick you a couple of bucks just for taking the time to share your story with us. And I'm gonna look forward to, you know, touching base with you in the next couple of days and see what all we can come up with.
Absolutely, I'm all for it, man. Whatever it is that we can do, or that you can do to help, really, we appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I hate asking for help. I do. I've always hated it. But here it is. I've never thought. Also, in 1,000 years, I find myself in this situation, but here I am.
Well,
but, yeah, I appreciate it, man. It was good meeting y'all.
It was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm gonna look forward to touching base with you real soon.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. Well, so we're getting ready to leave from here. Angelica, the first thing I want to say, man, is, I mean, just wow.
I told you, man. And the thing is, man, there's been scenarios where, you know, a handout or whatever, and he's not really about the handout. He'll take it because he needs help, like panhandling, but he doesn't like it, man. He doesn't like it. He just wants to work. And I've presented some avenues, and in some ways he's been kind of stubborn about stuck in his ways, but he loves his family. He wants to keep it together. He wants to go to school. I mean, he's trying, you know. And
the fact he's going to school is a major thing.
Yeah, and it's right there. You know, it's right there. He goes to school, you know, and it's just, yeah.
Well, look, I don't want to make this any longer than it already is. It's super long. I want to wrap this up with just how crazy all of this is. I know people are going to probably hear this man's story and say, you know, he makes a lot of excuses, and I told him that off camera. Over the course of the next couple of days, Gelico and I, we're going to try to put together some ideas in terms of what we could possibly provide, work, a possible place to stay, who knows, and see what we can present to this guy and see just where we go from here. But I want to say this in closing. Gelico, this entire area where we are in this parking lot, everybody back here is homeless. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm about to show you guys just how crazy this is.
And they don't, a lot of them, they don't look like bums, man. They don't look like...
There is Derrick right there. There's a car back there in the back of the parking lot. And there's 3 guys who live in that car. A guy on the ground right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then this truck right here, I'm quite certain this guy, there's something going on with this guy too.
Yeah, if you come here at night. Come here at night. And they don't look like addicts. They don't look, you know how you can judge someone by, like, it's not that way, man. And there's been several opportunities, you know, I'm sure that he's had to hustle and make a little bit of money, you know, whatever, man. And that's not what he's about, man. He's really trying to do the right thing, man. And some people are content with being homeless and stuff like that. He's not happy. He generally doesn't want to do this, but he's trying all the avenues, and he's waiting for certain things to pop up. But man, it's cold. I mean, it's just hard, man, because inevitably that could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? It could be anybody. You know, and the hotel thing, he's right. You're spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels, and well, look, it's crazy to think he just needs to get ahead just for a little bit to live day by day.
Well, like I said, Gelico and I, we're gonna try to put together some kind of game plan. We don't have all the answers, so ain't even no telling if we really come up with, you know, some really great solid answers. But we're gonna try, and not only that. You know, I want to make it something that we try to do as well, to where we try to do something for some of these people living in this parking lot, man. Yeah, I don't care if it's going and, you know, buying a bunch of jackets from the Salvation Army.
Man, dude, I still got those storage units, some of the stuff in it, man. Might be kind of big or kind of small or something, but man, it's nice these past couple of days, man. But before that, man, it was pretty cold.
Well, it's about to get cold again, so damn.
It's a cold world.
You know, I sit here and got a lot of stuff going on with, you know, with this job, with this house, with all the stuff that we're working on. And then you hear a guy's story like what we just learned from Derrick. And then I went and talked with the other people who were living in that parking lot as well. And, you know, you realize real quick that what you're complaining about ain't nothing in comparison to what's going on with other people.